In this video we're going to create this bottle holder table, and we're going to create this ice container plus the ice picker that is metallic. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is start a new scene. So I'm going to reset my file here, and I'll go to my front view. I'll zoom over. Now I'm going to click on create shapes and line. Now this is the 1 meter mark, and the table is going to reach the 90 centimeter mark. So I'm going to press snap and set the snap to grid points, and again go to 2.5 D snap, and I'm going to click here and go up to a value of 90 centimeters. Then I'm going to zoom over this area. I'm going to expand and choose vertex. Now what I need to do is actually create a supplement for this shape, so I'm going to choose insert, and I'll click here and create a vertex like so. Now down here I'm going to select this vertex, and I'm going to move it up by a value of 6 centimeters. Now I'm going to zoom over to the top part. I'm going to select this vertex, and I'm going to fillet it. Now the fillet radius is going to be something like 4, and I'll delete the last vertex. So this is the result that I have so far. I'm going to switch up to rendering and choose renderable and display render mesh. I'm going to set the thickness to 1.25. Now I'm going to select this line, and I'm going to rotate it by 45 degrees, but for that I need to be at the object level so that the pivot point stays at the base of the object. Now before I rotate, actually I'm going to create 4 of these objects. So I'm going to press S to snap, and I'll go down to a value of 80 centimeters, and I'll choose instance. Select both of them, and again I'll move by 40 by pressing shift, and again I chose instance, and now I'm going to rotate each one of the new copies to create the mirror object. Now this has to be rotated by a value of 180 degrees, and the same for the other one. Okay, now that I have them facing each other, I'm going to rotate them again to have a value of 45 degrees. So I'm going to select each one by itself and set the rotation angle to 45 degrees. Now remember to choose angle snap before you do that, otherwise it would be hard for you to reach the 45 degree angle. Okay, the last one goes like so. Alright, so now I have them all rotated by 45 degrees. Now I'm gonna create the wheels. So I create a sphere, and I'm gonna zoom over the sphere, and if I go to the front view, I see that the center of the sphere is located at the 0 position. So I have to go to modify and set the base to pivot option, and that way the sphere will be actually located on the ground. And I'm going to set the radius to a value of 3. Okay, so now that I have this, I'm going to create a copy by pressing shift and going to the others, and again I'm going to choose instance, so that if I change one of the spheres, the others will be changed at the same time. Okay, so now I see that the sphere is too big, so I'm going to set the radius to 2.5. So because I chose instance, all of them retracted at the same time. Okay, now let's try 2. Okay, 2 would be too small, so 2.5 is a good value. Now I'm going to select one of the lines, and because again they are instances, I'm going to choose vertex and select the vertex of one of them and lower them down, and I'll see that all of them will be lowered at the same time. So if I zoom over and go like that, you see that all of them will be changed at the same time, and the value here to choose is 5. I'm going to choose 4.9. Alright, so this is where I've reached so far. Now I have to create the curved cross sections. So I'm going to switch to my top view again, and I'm going to go to Shapes, Rectangle, and I'll create a rectangle that goes like this. And then I'm going to move it up by 10 centimeters. So I'll type Z is equal to 10. Now this rectangle has to be curved. So I'm going to go to Modify, and I'm going to increase the corner radius to a value of, say, 16. Now having done that, I see that the corners got smaller than the actual space. So I have to increase the length and the width until I get the proper result. So I'm going to set the length to 90 and the width to 46. Okay, so I'm going to create another one now. Switch to my front view, press Shift and go up. Instance again. Now this has to go to a value of 45. And now I'll press Shift and go up again. And this goes again to a value of 90 or 80. Now at 90 I need a bigger one. This has to be 0. Okay, at 90 I need a bigger one. So I'll press Shift and go up, but this time I'm not going to choose Instance, I'm going to choose Copy. Now if I try to scale this up, it won't work properly because the line is going to get thicker. And if I change the length and the width, I'm not going to have exactly the same proportion. So to have the proper value, what I'm going to do is convert this to an editable spline. And then I'm going to click on Spline, select this one, and switch to my top view. Now here, I'm going to scroll down to Outline, and I'm going to increase the outline value until I reach the required result. In this case, it's around -7. And now I would delete my original spline, and I would end up with the proper dimension for my top shape. Alright, so now that I have this, I see that everything is fitting perfectly. What I have to do next is select these two and press Ctrl V on the keyboard and choose Copy. Now I'm going to change their color. Okay, the reason I did that is that now I'm going to uncheck Display Render Mesh and Renderable, and I'm going to add an Extrude modifier. Okay, so I'll set the amount to a value of -0.3, and now I'm going to have my glass over here. Okay, to create the glass material, I want you to refer to the materials section of the city and see how you can create glass materials. For now, I'm not going to work on the materials, but I'm going to create the ice container. So I'm going to switch to my front view again. I'll go to Create and choose Line. I'm going to start over here. Now this is a value of 20 centimeters there, so I'm going to click and go up and click here and right click. Okay, let's hide the other objects. So I'm going to right click and choose Hide Unselected. I'm going to go to Line, Vertex, and I'm going to refine by adding another vertex over here. I'm going to select this and move it. If I want it to be perfectly vertical, I would note the value of this vertex and I would paste it for that one, and I would get a perfectly vertical line here. Okay, now I'm going to select all these vertices, right click and choose Bezier Corner. Now what I can do is play with the curvature to get a better design for my ice holder. Now I'm going to select both these vertices and I'm going to fillet them just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to click on Spline, select the whole spline, and I'm going to outline it by a value, by a little value actually, let's say -0.2 or -0.3. Okay, I'm going to zoom over this area. I'm going to select these vertices. First I'm going to make them corner, and then I'm going to fillet them. Okay, again I'm going to choose here. I'm going to have a little problem because the vertices are intersecting each other. To solve the problem, I'm going to choose cross insert, or actually it won't work with cross insert. To solve the problem, I'll select these two and I'll choose fuse and weld. Again, I'll use the same technique I used before, so I'll copy this value, X value for this vertex, and give it for that one. Alright, and I copy the Y or the Z value for this one. First, I'm going to delete this segment. Okay, so it's 90.3, and I'll give it to that one as well. Now I'm going to select segment, choose this segment and move it over, and again I'm going to choose this vertex and I'm going to fillet it. Okay, to make sure that it's going to fillet properly, I'm going to turn it into a corner vertex, and I'm going to take this and move the handle upwards. Okay, now I'm going to choose fillet and fillet this one like so. Okay, now it's time to lathe. So I'll choose modifier list and click on L. That will take me to lathe, and I'll choose max and weld core. Now if I look at this, I see that the normals are inverted again, so I'm going to choose flip normals, and I increase the segments up to 40. Okay, so now I'm going to right click and choose unhide all, and I'm going to take this and move it down and place it over here. Let's move this forward a little bit. Okay, I think it's a bit too big, so I'm gonna scale it down and then move it down again. Alright, not bad.